President Trump, what's your message to Vladimir Putin, sir? President Trump, do you have a message for Vladimir Putin as you meet with President Zelensky today?
Okay, your take there, Traci. We heard, he didn't bother essentially getting dressed up for that. What did you read in that?
Well, okay, so he has made a point that he has not gotten dressed up since the war started because he wants to be more like the common person and not above his country. So that's holding steady over the last 3 years. Now, Trump actually gives him the stage. You see how Trump points at him open-handed. He's like, check out this guy. And then we see Trump's, hey, let's fight the power move that we see from him. That's his trademark. There he goes. So, it's looking pretty good. It starts out pretty good, and then it falls apart relatively quickly after that.
It takes us then into a moment there appears to be some levity, joking between them. Let's take a look at this moment.
President Trump said that they made less support, but they are our friends and they are our very supportive partners. They really gave a lot, Mr. President. They did.
They gave a lot, but they gave much less.
No.
Much less.
No. No.
Don't argue with me.
No.
Okay.
Okay, what are you detecting from there, Traci?
Well, here's what we see from Trump. You see his hands like this? Now, they're below between his knees, but this shows ultimate confidence. And we see this from Trump a lot because he does have a lot of confidence. And where the body goes, the mind follows, right? So, and where the mind goes, the body is going to follow. So we see this, and this is just the initial pleasantries, and we see them leaning in towards each other. From Trump, we do see his trademark where he'll kind of lick his lips, and we see his bottom teeth a little bit, and we see that frown from him. And so that's his. There's nothing different than what we normally see from Trump in this exchange.
Right. So we've had appears to be going okay, a back and forth. Then we get about 30 minutes of the 50-minute press conference. This happens. J.D. Vance hasn't yet got involved, but let's see how the conversation gets a little more difficult.
Mr. President, would you be willing to visit Ukraine, maybe Kyiv or Odessa, which is going to be a 30-year-old Black Sea?
It was my question.
I'm sorry.
I don't want to talk about Odessa now. Let's not talk about Odessa. I want to talk about making a deal, getting peace. We don't have to talk about Odessa, but a lot of cities have been destroyed. A lot of cities that are not recognizable. There's not a building standing.
No.
And a lot of things.
Mr. President, you have to come and to look. No. We have very good cities. Yes, a lot of things have been destroyed, but mostly cities alive, and people work, and children go to school. Sometimes it's very difficult, sometimes closer to front line.
Okay, so they're kind of clashing is my kind of reading of this. You must come to Ukraine. No, I won't. Tell me what else you're seeing here.
Well, here we see classic avoidance. So there's something Trump doesn't want to talk about in Odessa. I don't know what's going on in Odessa. It's something probably unflattering to Trump's agenda. And as far as coming over there, I know that apparently Zelensky has a propaganda tour that he'll take you on to show you what he wants to show you, not unlike other countries. And so this is not acceptable. Trump just wants to get this thing done, keep going.
So we've got Zelensky as well. His hands are down. They're not folded at this point. He does take a question from a reporter who appears to be the partner of Marjorie Taylor Greene, who is a big fan of Donald Trump, about you didn't wear a suit. Why aren't you wearing a suit? And we start to see him change a little bit. Let's take a look at the next moment of the press conference.
Would you be willing to visit Ukraine, maybe Kyiv or Odessa, which is going to be a 30-year-old Black Sea?
It was my question.
I'm sorry.
I don't want to talk about Odessa.
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the President for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to.
Come once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring people, you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems?
Okay, this is where we need your help again, Traci. What are you thinking?
Here's what we see is that Zelensky is not giving up. He's looking for a fight. See that chin up that he'll do sometimes. Now, when people do that, it means that they're comfortable in the aggression when their chin is up like this. Now, if a tiger was to come into that room, the first thing he would do to attack would be the neck area, right? So when that is exposed, that says, hey, you know what? I'm throwing out all the stops here. Now, also, we see Zelensky, he's moved forward in his chair, so he's not giving up and he's not giving in. And he's trying to dial this thing back down, but it gets away from him. It gets away from him, especially when Trump chimes in.
So we have this is where it really starts to get heated. We start to see finger pointing. We start to see, I think, nose twitching as well from Vladimir Zelensky. And here's the denouement, the moment where Donald Trump tries to wrap the whole thing up.
During the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless.
You don't
God
know that.
bless. You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because
I'm
you're in no
answering on this
position to
question.
dictate that.
That's
Remember
exactly what
this.
you're
I'm not
You're
dictating.
in no position to dictate what we're going to feel.
You
We're
will-
going to feel very
you will
good.
Feel influence.
We're going to feel very
I'm
good and
telling
very
you,
strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed
From the
yourself
very-
to be in a
from
very
the
bad
very
position,
beginning
and he
of the
happens
war.
to be right about
From the
it.
very
This is the point where it's excruciating. We've heard European leaders. We heard Annalena Baerbock, the German foreign minister, saying that people might have struggled to sleep last night in Europe ahead of this meeting because she called it just a bad dream that's now a very heavy reality. But you're looking beyond the sound and fury. What are you picking up?
Well, this to me felt like an episode of The Apprentice. Remember that show way back when people had to argue for their job and argue to stay on the show? It felt like that. We see Trump calling him out and saying, hey, you know what, there's no cards that you have to play. So there's tone here. We see the pointing, and that's a threat. And we didn't used to see the pointing from American politicians ever, because they were trained to put their thumb and pointer finger together, because this is seen as such a threat. We used to only see this from Middle Eastern dictators. So it's a huge shift in how he's received and how he wants to be received worldwide.
Traci, been a pleasure having you on to kind of have a four-dimensional view like chess, not just the sounds, but also the body language going on. Traci Brown, renowned non-verbal communication expert on body language.